In our careers as footballers, there will naturally be many ups and downs along the way. One of the less fun things to go through is struggling to get playing time, when all you want to really do is just to get out on the field and do what you love. During the last few weeks, I've gotten a lot of questions about this exact topic in my Instagram DMs and in the comments, since I haven't featured very much this year. Therefore, in today's video, I will share the story of why this is my current situation, but more importantly, I will share 5 takeaways of different mindsets that I've tried to adopt and different actions that I've tried to take to turn the tide in my favor. And then, hopefully, if you find yourself in a similar situation, you can take inspiration from these takeaways and apply them to your own career. Let's begin. I will not drag on too long here, but I feel like it's important to apply some context first. Last year, I signed my first professional contract to play at the highest level as of then in my career. I didn't have very high expectations leading into that season other than to learn and to play as much as I possibly could. It was definitely a decent start at that level with a couple of solid performances, and also the team secured a new contract for the 2023 season. Heading into this year of 2023, I then wanted to move on to the next level. With 1 year of experience under my belt, I wanted to attack this season from the very start. During preseason, I felt very sharp, I performed well, and I had a great feeling heading into the season. Then, during a couple of weeks at the start of the season, my performance levels dipped slightly, and I only made 3 late game cameos in the first 3 games of the season. Then, in the 4th game of the season, and many of you already know this because you have watched my previous videos, I came on as a substitute in the 77th minute when we were up 3-0. And after only 3 minutes and about my 2nd or 3rd full sprint, I felt a sharp pain in my hamstring. I immediately understood that I had pulled my hamstring and that game was over for me. For the next 3 months, I was out for the majority of the games while I was focusing on my rehab and trying to get back. I tried to get back after a month, had a setback. I made my comeback in the league about 2 months after the injury, but more pain followed and I had to take a step back. Now it's been more than 4 months, and now for the last couple of weeks have really been the first time since the injury that I have been able to go at 100% and not feel any pain. I still featured minimally in the 3 games that we've had since we came back from the summer break, but I've not been too worried about it, and that takes us to the first takeaway from this situation, and that is to approach your individual situation objectively rather than subjectively. When it comes to situations like this, it's very easy to get emotional. I've definitely felt feelings of sadness and anger and frustration along this journey, and it's not that weird because we all care about the game a lot and it's a major part of our lives. Therefore, one thing that have helped me is to try to look at my situation more objectively. Understanding that firstly, injuries are a major part of the game, and since this was my really first big injury, it's okay to not know how to deal with it mentally. As long as I try my best to do the prescribed rehab and focus on the things that I can control, then I'm really doing all I can and I will learn from this experience. The second takeaway is to ask yourself the question, is hard work and grinding always the way forward? I've gotten many questions regarding how I deal with this situation, and those questions often entail something along the lines of, are you working harder? Here it's very important to apply context. Obviously I want to work hard and find my way back, but at certain times it may do more harm than good. When there was a lot of uncertainty involving my injury and I felt pain from time to time, is it more important to get the hamstring to feel good or to get some extra sessions in of, dribbling or shooting or whatever it is? What would be the best course of action for me in my situation to increase the chances of progress and success? For me, at that moment in time, it was not to work harder. It was to build myself up back to a level where working harder made more sense. Sometimes you first have to start at point A before jumping straight to point B and the finish line. Currently, I'm in a much better position physically to take on more load in training and to work harder, and therefore it makes much more sense to do so now. The third takeaway is to not set too high standards if you're not performing initially. I didn't perform very well the first few weeks after I returned from my injury, and I struggled to replicate my old performance levels, and I got angry with myself over this. In these moments, I try to take a step back and look at things from a bigger perspective. I've been out for a long time, and the goal right now for me individually is not to perform at my absolute best right now, but to gradually get back to that level. If I make a lot of mistakes or I miss a lot of opportunities, I constantly try to remind myself that these mistakes will eventually correct themselves, and the next time the ball will end up in the goal rather than out of it. The fourth takeaway is whether you have applied context to your situation and looked at it objectively. Now, be honest with yourself and ask the question, am I really performing better than the other players in the team? If no, then you can't expect to play. I have felt these exact feelings during my recovery process, and then it's just about trusting the process and keep working hard and smart to get back to a level where I can compete. If the answer is yes, however, and you feel like you have legitimate arguments to play, then communication in a professional and once again objective manner with the coach should be your priority. Try to get a good understanding of the situation. Why are you not playing and what should you change to do so? Hopefully after that conversation you will have a better understanding of why you're currently not playing or why you are left out of the squad, and then you can dedicate your focus to that area of your game going forward. The fifth and final takeaway is to, during this entire period, even if you feel like you're not contributing to the team, I can tell you that you are. Are you positive or are you negative in the dressing room with your teammates? Are you isolating yourself because of this? Trust me, I've been there throughout the years, but I try my best to remain positive and cheer my teammates on, because in the end we are a team. It's not always possible, but try your best because both you and your teammates will benefit so much from it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Just have faith in what you do and keep working hard, and you'll soon get back to your best. That's all for today. Like the video if you find it helpful. Subscribe so you don't miss any of the new content that I put out. And other than that, I'll just see you in the next one. Take care and bye.